There are many young men of 20 buried in Dublin, soldiers. They're buried in the uniform of the Irish Volunteers, the Irish Citizen Army or British Army regiments. But the most unusual war grave in Dublin, where we're looking at it, it's here in the Royal Hospital Kilmainham, and it's the grave of a war hero of 29 and a horse by the name of Donal. Donal was the charger and loyal friend of Field Marshal Earl Roberts. And Earl Roberts, one of the most celebrated military commanders of the 19th century. He was born in India himself, and his dad, like him, a fine British Army general. It's quite fitting that his horse, his beloved horse, should be an Indian horse. Because early in his military career, Earl Roberts should defeat an Indian tribal chief by the name of Donal, a man he held great regard and great respect for his capabilities and strengths. And as such, 6 years later, in 1877, when he acquires a beautiful horse in Mumbai, he names him Donal in honour of his one-time opponent. Donal wasn't the largest horse in the world, he was far from it. But Earl Roberts wasn't the largest man in the world either. Earl Roberts was 5'4". His nickname in the army was Little Bobs, and he built up a strong friendship with Donal. Donal became his main charger and his most trusted horse during the wars in Afghanistan, the Anglo-Afghan wars in the late 19th century. And this tiny white Arab pony should lead Field Marshal Earl Roberts on his journey from Kabul to Kandahar, making a name for himself. Earl Roberts was thanked in Parliament for his efforts at the Battle of Kandahar. Thousands of casualties endured on both sides. Donal's efforts were so courageous that the Queen herself should award this horse with 3 medals, including the much sought after Kandahar Star. And Donal would even march in the Diamond Jubilee procession 2 years before his death in the late 1890s. One of the only animals to be allowed to wear his medals ceremoniously and to march wearing them. A very modest horse, it should be said. He never put them on himself, they were always put upon him. But after the Diamond Jubilee procession, well, his life story ends here in Dublin. Because his beloved owner, Earl Roberts, comes to Dublin as Commander-in-Chief of the British Forces. And as such, he was based here in the Royal Hospital. And Donal, his beloved pet, would come with him, of course. When he died, Donal, at the age of 29, a fine age for a horse, was given a full military funeral. And of course that entails a volley over the grave and the like. And it's difficult to imagine this small Indian pony receiving a full military funeral here in a corner of Dublin. His grave has a beautiful poem upon it, which touches, I suppose, any pet owner's heart. And it says that there are men both good and wise who hold that in a future state, dumb creatures we have cherished down below shall give us joyous greeting when we pass the Golden Gate. Is it folly that I hope it may be so? Earl Roberts, though he lost his great friend Donal, went on to fight in the Boer War. But Donal, his dear charger, always close to his heart. And this undoubtedly one of the most unusual graves in our city, to Dublin's war horse, the Indian-born Donal.